And here we have new Super Mario Bros. U. Of course, one of the launch titles that released with the system. Now, I remember when this game was first getting announced, a lot of people were sort of hoping for a 3D Mario experience similar to Super Mario Galaxy, but Nintendo decided to play it safe, of course, and offer another 2D entry into the franchise. Now, as the old saying goes, if it's not broke, don't fix it, which is definitely the case here. It does offer a few new things. One thing I couldn't understand is, with the 4 players, why have 2 toads? I was always, pondering the idea, what if they took this sort of concept where you played as Mario and Luigi, but they offered up sort of a dark world where you could play as Wario and Waluigi, which I think would be kind of interesting. Never really understood the concept of 2 generic yellow and blue toads. This game does support up to 5 players. Of course, you have 1 player being Mario, Luigi, and the 2 toads, but whoever has the gamepad can basically just draw blocks on the gamepad to sort of create platforms to help make the levels easier, or of course screw over your friends, and basically make the game easier for secrets and such. 4-player Mario, pretty insane, gets a little bit chaotic, but overall fun experience. New Super Luigi U, the standalone expansion to New Super Mario Bros. U, celebrating the Year of Luigi, where of course Luigi is the star of the show. Again, this game supports 1 to 5 players. The new additional character this time is a rabbit called Nabbit, who is indestructible and apparently can't get hit. But this game has been compared to the Super Mario Bros. Lost Levels that was originally released in the Super Mario Bros. All-Stars pack. So of course, this game may be a little bit harder to some, but worth checking out. Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. This is one of the games I bought when I first bought the Wii U when it launched. I love this game. I think it's great. I know when the original Ninja Gaiden 3 first came out, it wasn't very well received. People were saying it was too short, too simple, not enough weapon variety. It seemed very repetitive, and definitely didn't feel like a Ninja Gaiden game. Also had tacked on multiplayer. So Tecmo Koei and Team Ninja, of course, listened to their fans and released this beauty of a game. Again, it's Ninja Gaiden 3, but vastly improved. It has more weapons, it's much more difficult, it's bloody as heck, and it's great to see that the Wii U has some mature rated games. Now, I originally wanted this game because I thought this was going to be a Wii U exclusive, only to my disappointment that a few months later, it got ported to the Xbox 360 and the PS3. But, again, a lot of improvements are made to this game, and if you love Ninja Gaiden, you should check this out. Alright, and here is Nintendo Land. This is the game that came with the Wii U console at launch as the packing game. Not as successful as Wii U Sports, but definitely, this definitely shows what the Wii U gamepad and the Wii U can do. It's more or less a glorified tech demo of what the system can do. But it had some fun. I mean, it took the concept of a theme park and made various rides or mini-games based off of various Nintendo properties like F-Zero, Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong, and just made really fun minigames. A couple of highlights from those were the F-Zero slot car race, the on-rails Legend of Zelda archery shooter, and there was this really cool Metroid space shooter that was really fun. Definitely worth checking out if you have a group of friends together, but again, not as successful as Wii Sports. And here we have PacMan and the Ghostly Adventures. Now this game kind of caught me out of nowhere. I was walking in a Target store, and I think for about $10-15 I saw this in the bargain bin, and I was pretty surprised because I didn't know that PacMan had any new games or any recent games, in terms of my memory, so I decided, oh, what the heck, I'll check it out. Turns out this is based actually off of a kids TV show, and it's actually not that bad. It's a 3D platformer in the vein of Super Mario. And, the game actually looks surprisingly well considering it's based off of a TV show, and we all know that games based off of TV shows and movies don't exactly fare out that well. But the platforming is really solid. The only gripe is because it's based off of a kids TV show, the difficulty spike is definitely on the low side, so some of us may find this game to be quite easy. But it's definitely worth checking out, I think. I know there's a sequel that was released sometime near the end of last year, coming into this year, that I do plan to check out at some point. Alright, and here we have Pikmin 3, the latest entry in the Pikmin franchise. Now, I've never played the first 2 games, so this is my first entry into the series. Haven't really played much of this one either, but from what I recall from it, the game looks absolutely phenomenal. And I remember watching gameplay and watching screenshots when this game was getting released, and I was like, man, this is probably the best looking game on the Wii U. Of course, there's other games since then that I think look better. But from what I recall in the games, I know in the first two games you played as Captain Olimar, and in this one you play as 3 different characters, and the main object of the game is to control various PacMan that have different abilities to help you navigate the levels, and the main goal is to basically rebuild your ship since you've crash landed on some strange, interesting, mysterious planet. And here we have Resident Evil Revelations, which was originally released on the 3DS as an exclusive, but has since gotten a HD port. This is also available on the Xbox 360 and the PS3. Now the setting of this game is pretty neat. It sort of brings it back to its survival horror roots. It takes place on a derelict ship, which also is ironically similar to a game that came out in about 2004-2005 called Cold Fear. This game takes place between Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5, and if you're looking for something that kind of harkens back to the original Resident Evil and gives it this sort of claustrophobic, atmospheric, creepy vibe, I highly recommend checking this one out, as we all know that the more recent Resident Evil games have sort of lost their edge and become more action-based titles. Alright, and this is Scribblenauts Unlimited. I love this game, has a lot of charm to it. It's very quirky, and it's a very easygoing puzzle platformer where creativity sort of plays the starring role in the game, using various descriptive words to create objects in the game to help you solve the puzzles. So pretty much if you could think it and write it down, you can probably create it. Definitely worth checking out for the creative types out there. And here we have Scribblenauts Unmasked. Same great gameplay as Scribblenauts Unlimited, but what's interesting about this one is it's actually a DC Comics crossover. So what's cool is you get to team up with the likes of Superman, Green Lantern, and Batman, and all those great DC superhero characters that are out there. And here is Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, considered by many to be the worst Sonic game ever made, or the worst Sonic game since Sonic 06. I beg to differ, actually. I don't think this game is that bad from what I've played. It's definitely not good. It's not bad either. I would definitely play this over Sonic 06. Sonic 06 definitely leaves a sour taste in my mouth. It's just disappointing because this game had so much potential, and the developers behind it were former developers of Naughty Dog, so they developed great games like Crash Bandicoot and Jak and Daxter, so they definitely had the correct platforming experience. It's just this game doesn't really feel like a Sonic game. The speed sections don't feel fast, and there's these random 3D action brawler segments that kind of make it feel like God of War. It's kind of cool that you get to play as 4 different characters, and they each have their own special maneuvers, but the gameplay ultimately feels the same. And here is Sonic Lost World. Definitely the stronger Sonic game of the Wii U exclusives. Best way I can describe this game essentially is Sonic the Hedgehog meets Super Mario Galaxy. Alright, and here is Super Mario 3D World. I believe this is the 3D Mario game we wanted at launch. This game is fantastic. You have 4 players, you play as Mario, Luigi, Peach, and Toad, and what's really cool is they take some cues from Super Mario Bros. 2, which was released back on the NES many moons ago. Mario is the balanced character, Luigi can jump higher and he sort of slides around, Peach can float, and Toad is the fastest of the 4. This game looks great, plays fantastic, gets a little bit chaotic, having 4 players on screen, but it's platforming perfection at its finest, and there's lots of collectibles and maybe a few surprises hidden along the way. And here we have Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. Now I'll be the first to admit that I'm not very good at these type of games, but I definitely appreciate what Nintendo has done here, and this is by no means a bad game. This is definitely one of the reasons why you should own a Wii U. This is a Nintendo love letter between all the characters and the different franchises, and just this game is just about the history of Nintendo, done in a very fun and creative fighting game type style. It can be a party game, a competitive fighter. This game is very feature heavy, has a lot of game modes, has a story mode, multiplayer, online multiplayer, 8-player Smash. The character roster is amazing, and it feels like it keeps getting updated every so often, so it's good to see that Nintendo is actually supporting this. with additional DLC characters. There's just a lot here. It's a very meaty game that'll just give you hours and hours of fun. So definitely check it out. Alright, and here is Transformers Prime, which is also available on the 3DS. It's based off of the TV show by the same name. It's good to see that Nintendo has its own Transformers game. I know, you know, if you have a PS3 or the 360, you could play War of Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron, which infinitely are better games than this, but this game isn't too bad. It's got a really good art style. It's like a 3D brawler mixed in with a third-person shooter. It's a little bit on the easy side, and it's definitely short. I beat this game in about 3 to 4 hours. I beat it in one sitting, but I enjoyed my time with it, and if you can find it on the cheap, I definitely recommend you check it out. Alright, and here we have Warriors Orochi 3 Hyper. This is the first re-release of this game. It has since been ported over to the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 as Warriors Orochi 3 Ultimate. So this is a Warriors crossover. It features a lot of characters from Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors. It's got the same classic Warriors gameplay that people either love or hate, with an interesting story. So if you like these type of games, check it out. Alright, and here we have the Wonderful 101, another excellent game crafted by the minds at Platinum Games. Now the best way I can describe this game is if you basically took PacMan, gave it a more of an action brawler type feel with the comic book aesthetic of Beautiful Joe. And this is the type of game you get here. The last game in my Wii U collection, ZombiU, which was also a launch title for the system. Very interesting game, I think. I know this is a very polarizing in terms of reviews. It was more or less a love it or hate it game. It's an interesting setting. It took place in London. It was a first-person survival horror zombie game, but it was a lot slower paced than your typical zombie shooter, kind of like Left 4 Dead, or even if you were looking at third-person action games, Dead Rising. But the one interesting mechanic about this game is when your character died, the character that you were previously would resurrect as a zombie, and he would resurrect at a safe house as another randomly generated character that would sort of have a small backstory, and you would basically have to go out into the world and survive and try to find your body previously so you can get your stuff back in advance of the game. So if you can find this one on the cheap, I think it's worth checking out. Like I said, a very polarizing game. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video. That, in a nutshell, is my Wii U collection. Please feel free to leave a positive or negative comment in the comment section below, as any constructive criticism, will definitely help me make better videos and better comments. Also, sound off of my collection. Let me know your opinions about my collections, or let me know of any games I may have missed, or you think I should add to my collections. Most importantly, if I do continue to pursue these collection videos, which one would you want to see next? Do you want to see a much more retro console, or do you want me to keep it more modern like I've been doing for the last couple of videos? Again, sound off everything in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.